Well, we cover weather and traffic every 10 minutes on KBOI 2 News this morning. You think pink? That is pink.
That was bright.
That's like a pink highlighter.
Yeah, that really
that is
was.
bright.
You know what? I have an orange. I don't know why I just thought of this when you said pink highlighter. I have an orange dress that is, very orange, and I decided to wear it to my brother's graduation. Not really. I just thought it was a cute dress,
Okay.
and I came in late to the graduation ceremony because my flight got in late, and my dad was like, "Oh, there's Denny, the orange highlighter." And so I got called the orange highlighter the rest of the weekend, and I have only worn the dress once or twice since.
Okay, so that's in the back of the closet collecting dust right now.
I know. It is cute though, but yeah, it did look like a highlighter, kind of like
Well,
those houses.
that sounds summer-like, right? And we see some spring-like temperatures, I guess, right now.
We do, yeah. Today's temperature is actually below our average, but we are cranking up the heat. So I think as we get into next week, it'll feel a lot more like summer as we get closer to that summer solstice. So starting off, good news from the front as far as river levels, reservoirs, all of that seeming like we're taking a turn in the right direction and hopefully meaning the end of the flooding is in sight. This is a look at the amount of water, the discharge out of Lucky Peak Dam into what goes into the canals and the river. And you can kind of see over the course of the water year, you'll see that, notice that big spike about February, March. That was when we started cranking up the water levels because of realizing the snowpack was so deep that we were going to need to accommodate for that. So over the last few months, we know the drill. We've just been going up, 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 and up, and we finally have turned that corner where we're starting to see things turn down just a little bit. The discharge out of Lucky Peak now below 12,000 CFS for the for the first time, I think, here in a couple weeks. And then, of course, we're going to notice downstream at the Glenwood Bridge site, which is where we do the measurements along the Boise River, kind of our measuring gauge there. We are starting to see hints of change, too. This graph just showing the last 5 days, but you would see a similar graph looking overall at Glenwood. But over the last 5 days, we got a little bit of a drop, and then things spiked a touch in response to about the inch of rain that we saw here in the Boise area, and now things are slowly starting to decrease again, and we're expecting to see another sharp drop down toward that 7,000 number as we head into today and tomorrow. So good news on that front. We will be continuing to follow the situation closely, but hoping that we're turning a corner. And the reason why, we've still got water coming into the reservoirs, but it's not near as much as it has been. The snowpack finally depleting, and with this, even though two of our reservoirs almost 100% of capacity, Lucky Peak at 91% full, and water managers are now saying we have enough room in these three reservoirs to make room for all of the additional runoff that needs to take place in our reservoirs. So hopefully things should slowly start to return to a more natural state, but of course we know changes can happen. Nothing but sunshine as you wake up early this morning. The sun is out and up with us bright and early, plenty of that. Blue skies across the state for most of the area. A little bit of cloud cover coming over here into central Oregon and Washington. I think that will spread across the area as we head throughout the afternoon and into the early evening, so may notice a few more clouds shuffling through later on, but it will kind of just create a nice little cloud deck. Won't produce any shower activity today. So timing things out on the futurecast we'll fast forward to about 6 o'clock tonight, noticing the increased cloud cover across the region, just kind of a light, high, thin layer of clouds passing through. No threatening clouds, not going to see any showers out of them. By tomorrow in the afternoon, I do think we have the potential for a little bit of rain up in the highest elevations near the mountains and into the northern Idaho panhandle. We could see a few spotty showers dipping down south into the Treasure Valley as early as Friday, though, and I do think this is kind of a newer change that we're seeing on the models. Most of this is going to target our mountains, but some could come down into the Weiser Basin, and if we do see some of that slide down into our area, don't be too surprised, because it's a trend that we're starting to see looking a little more likely on some of the latest models. But there is still some disagreement, so I want to make you aware of that, but just give you a heads up that if you are planning to be out Friday evening, some of the models starting to hint that we could get some shower activity down here in southwestern Idaho too. So just keep it in mind as you make your Friday evening plans. Shouldn't be too much to spoil anything, but we'll be keeping an eye on it. Today, nothing to worry about. High of 75, good mixture of sun and clouds throughout the day. More sun early, more clouds a little bit later on, maybe providing a little bit of natural shade out there at Alive After 5 for the second week of that going. Mostly cloudy with temps in the low to mid 70s for you out there. Cooling off into the 60s this evening, and we'll see daytime highs really consistent across the lower valleys. We'll be at 75 in Caldwell, 63 though in Stanley, and McCall at 64. Sun Valley highs close to 70 today. Emmett Cherry Festival also happening. Temperatures there are going to be in the mid to upper 70s, so should be a beautiful and comfortable day to spend up in Emmett. Go grab some of those delicious cherries. Temps tonight cooling off into the 50s here, 40s and 30s in the mountains. From here, things bump up a little bit. We're kind of going to bounce back and forth above our average high for the next few days, staying just below it, I think, mostly Friday and Saturday. A few showers possible for us by Friday afternoon and evening, but overall looking good. And then we really dry out for the weekend. Ridge of high pressure builds in, and when we say that in the summer or the summer months, you know what that means. Temperatures soaring back into the 90s will skyrocket back up in that direction early next week, but Father's Day kind of looking right in that sweet spot, 85, mostly sunny. So Dad